down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome to the Home Repairs and Solutions Show, your Friday Ask the Pro series show. Brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your local Amana dealer. Your hosts are Mary Pearson and Mark Withers. And now here's Mary and Mark.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. I'm so glad you're back with me today.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I think we had a real good show last week, but I missed
what
you.
I heard.
Yeah,
Well,
I always
you
miss you when
guys.
you're not here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I always say hi to you. I never know if you're listening or not. I don't know if you're traveling or setting up, or I never know where you're at. But
Yeah, well,
we always say hi.
well, I appreciate that, and I'm always thinking about you. So, but yeah, where I was last week, no, I couldn't pick you up. So,
Probably not.
no, a little too far away.
A
But
little too far.
yeah,
Well, you're here today,
that's right. I am.
so that's all good.
Yep, that's right. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. And we have a special guest with us today. I think it's been about a year since you've been on. But this is one of my very good friends, Michael Summers. Michael is with MPJ Enterprises. And Michael has lots of ways to help people who are wanting to buy a house, sell a house, maybe learn about investing, all kinds of things. So we're going to have a great show today. Welcome, Michael. I'm glad to have you back with us today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And why don't we give out our phone numbers to start with, so if someone has a question, they will know how to get a hold of us today.
I think that's a great idea, Mary. If you're local, it's 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. Or, since we are so high-tech, you can text us at 417-838-3192, and we'll be more than happy to read that on the air if you're shy and don't want to talk on the radio.
That's right. We'll try to answer all your questions today. Of course, you can call us about anything that you want to.
Sure.
But if you have something specific for Michael while he's in the studio, now would be a great time to give him a call.
That's right.
So we'll just start out, and you can just kind of let our listeners know what you do.
Well, MPJ, we buy and sell homes. We help people that need to sell a home that maybe it's a little tough on the market for them, and they can't quite get the price, or they can't get as quick a sale. So sometimes we have solutions for that. We also sell properties several ways, just traditional where somebody has their own financing, but then we also offer no bank financing, regardless of credit, and help them get into a home with a reasonable down payment and reasonable monthly payments, and then help them with credit issues so they can get that cleaned up and in the next year or two get a traditional loan. With the financing being so good in banks right now, that's ideal for people because you can get 4% or maybe a little better right now, which is just unheard of in 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. I do know that the interest rates are starting to creep up, though, a little bit on home mortgages right now. It's still a good deal if you can do that, and that would be a great way to go. But not everyone can do that for lots of different reasons. Life happens, and you can't always be in control of everything. And so sometimes you might have maybe you've had a major health issue, or you had something happen that's caused a different financial situation for you. So
You're right, and I like to let people know life happens. Don't feel too bad about it.
it happens to everybody.
It does, and it's we live in a great country. You can get a fresh start. We try to help people that maybe they don't know really what to do next to get back on the path of home ownership and the path of maybe cleaning up some credit and what do I do? How do I go about it? And we have some professionals that we work with at some local banks that sit down. There's no charge for that. They map it out for them, and anybody can, from what I've been told from several of our representatives at banks, within 2 to 2.5 years, just about anybody can get where they can have good credit again and qualify for a loan. But they don't have to wait 2 or 3 years for a home, based on the inventory that we have. If they find the right home that fits their family and their budget, they can buy a home today and then be working on the credit, and then in the next 2 or 3 years get where they can just cash that out and get a traditional loan.
And that's something that, I still think that's an American dream. Everybody, for the most part, wants to own their own home. And sometimes, like you said, it's kind of hard to know how to get started with that. Sometimes it can be very disheartening and very frustrating for folks, especially if you're in a situation. Maybe you're a single parent. Maybe you lost your job and you have bad credit just because you lost your job for maybe 6 months or a year and it's affected your credit, and maybe now you're working again, but you have a credit issue. There's lots and lots of things that can affect people. And so I think I've learned a lot more about what you do. I see how you help people. I know that you purchased our home in Nixa.
Yes.
And that was one of those situations that's kind of interesting. Paul and I were thinking about, we wanted to move to the lake, but we didn't know if it was a good time to sell, and we weren't for sure what to do. And we found out about you through a mutual friend, and she just kind of casually mentioned that we might be wanting to sell it, and I believe you contacted us and made us a very reasonable offer, and we were like, it's time to go. And we sold and moved to the lake and have never regretted that. So it's not something where, and there's another thing that we kind of talked about before the show. Not everyone is comfortable with maybe listing it and having a parade of people traipsing through your house all the time. If you don't want to go down that path, you don't have to.
No, you don't. Our goal, too, is to help people. If you have a home that you do list or you put on the market yourself or list it, and you can get it sold in a reasonable amount of time, a couple of months, 2, 3, 4 months, we're ideal. We're so glad for you to do that. But if you have your house and you're trying to sell it, and maybe you're getting some negative feedback, well, it needs updating or it needs this, and it's just not going as fast as you need, then we can sometimes offer solutions for that in many ways, based on what's owed on it. And we've even been able to buy houses from folks where they maybe even owed a little more than the market would bear, and we've been able to help them out of those situations also through several different methods our company uses. So it's always good for somebody to call, even if they aren't sure, and we can evaluate, what we can do for them. And if nothing else, we can offer them free advice. And we've had many people that have called, and they were just so pleased that we offered some ideas that they had not thought of. And even if they haven't done business with us, they said, well, we really appreciate that. I think we're going to go that way that you suggested. We think that will be beneficial for us.
Sure, and it's always good to know what all of your options are. And in order to find out what your options are, you have to find the right professionals that can help you figure those out. And that's one thing that I really appreciate about you, Michael, is you truly are willing to help someone regardless of what it is. Give them all their options, and maybe their best option is to go just with a standard bank mortgage. Maybe they can sell their house on their own. But you give them the tools and the information they need to make good choices. And if you and I've always heard that the longer your house sits on the market, the less likely it is to sell. Because then people see the for sale sign out there for months and months and go, what's wrong with that place? How come no one's buying that house?
Right.
You could talk about that. You deal with that, Mark.
A good example of that is a house that we were talking earlier about my folks living up in Harrisonville, and I know my mom's probably listening today, but there was a house that they were kind of interested in Marshfield, the area they'd been looking in. And, the house, I've looked at it, but it's been on the market for over a year now. And, normally, especially us as real estate agents, when we see something that's been on the market that long, the first question we have is, okay, what's wrong? Are they overpriced? Did they not price it right to begin with? Why is it sitting there? Is there issues that we don't see? There's all kinds of these things that come up. And the rule of thumb with us in the real estate business is the first usually 30 days that it's on the market is going to tell you a pretty good story. If you don't get any showings at all, you need to look at it and find out why. If you do get showings, it's good to get feedback, because you want to know why there's not been any offers. So 30 to 60 days, you need to do something. Look at the price or, what issues that you have. because that's something we look at. That's the first thing I look at is how many days something's been on the market. And,
Sure.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Because if the house is priced right and its location is very appealing to people, it's not a matter of if it's going to sell. It's how many offers do we have already
Exactly.
on it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Something I was going to ask you guys about that I just find interesting, and I don't know if you have the answer or not, but there seems to be a lot of people seem to be going the auction route. I've seen several houses, just even here locally, that they're just going up for auction. I mean, why does that seem to be more prevalent than it used to be? It's kind of surprised me so many people put it for auction instead of maybe just trying to sell it. And when you do that, do you just get what you get, or how does that work? I really don't understand auctioning your house like that.
Well, when they auction it, and it just depends on what the person wants to accomplish. Sometimes that makes them feel that they're going to have a quick sale. There's a lot of homes that go to auction that don't sell. But there's two
Okay.
different kinds of auctions, maybe even more than two. But the two basic ones would be an auction that they have a minimum reserve, a minimum price they have to have before it will sell. And then now and then you'll see what's called an absolute auction. That means
I
it's
have
going to
seen
sell.
those, yes.
It's going to sell at some price today. And those are exciting. Sometimes those houses go higher than they would have the other way because the feeding frenzy, so to speak. But then also sometimes you go to one of those and you really pick up a fantastic deal. I saw one on Craigslist that's coming up here later this month, if I'm not mistaken, and it's in Seymour. And it's going to be an absolute auction. And it's a house. It's got a little small house beside it. And I called the auction company, and it sounds like it's going to go very reasonable. So that is something for somebody to go look at.
And a lot of times, if you say had a relative, a parent, or somebody who passed away, and you want to get rid of their whole place, all the contents
estate,
and everything, the whole estate, that sometimes is a way to do it to
I see.
keep from having to deal with everything. Because the auction people, they'll come in and they will box everything. They'll make their lots or however that they do it. They take care of the whole thing for you.
I see.
But they do get a pretty hefty commission, or most of them do. And
Yeah, I
so,
would imagine so.
Yeah, it's
So-
worth it. It's
But,
usually
yeah,
10%,
10%, I think, is
that
what they
can be
get,
paid
so-
by the buyer sometimes, and sometimes by the seller. It just
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
But that's a great service.
Sure.
I've been to several of those, and it's fun to go to auctions, and
Oh, yeah.
you can find some good deals.
Yeah.
But when you do that, when you purchase a house like that, it's as is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you get what you get, and then with all the problems or whatever that comes with it. So I would say that would be something that if you're not real familiar with checking out houses and stuff, you might want to be very cautious of.
You do. They usually have a period before the auction. It might be a week or so that you can go and view the home. You can do inspections if you want. So
I
you
see.
can do your own due diligence. If you don't, then be ready to find some surprises.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of surprises, one of the things our company does also is we buy junker houses or houses that need repair. So I want to mention that on the air. So if somebody has a home like that, we don't know we can sell it, we'll probably have to put money in it. A lot of times I like buying houses as is, and it can be from a complete rehab to just needs a little paint and polish. So we do buy a lot of houses that way because, like he was talking about, when people sell with auctions, sometimes it's because of that. They think, we can't sell it like it is unless we just auction it off. But they can call our company, and we can go take a look at it and make them an offer right then, and usually close within 7 to 14 days.
That's pretty
That's
quick.
great, yeah.
That's really quick.
Yeah.
So there are, and see, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe people think that's their only option to get rid of something like that, but it's not. I mean, they could call Michael and give you the first shot at it and see if maybe you could work out a deal with them first if it's something that they just need to get rid of for whatever reason. I know that you also sometimes do foreclosures. Now, I understand foreclosures aren't quite as heavy duty as they were there for a while. They're kind of maybe drying up a little bit, and there's not so many. But and short sales, and there's all kinds of things. I mean, there's all kinds of housing things going on out there that you have solutions for.
There are, and as far as the foreclosures and those, that's an individual can buy those, and an investor like myself can buy those. I even kind of mentor people and teach people on how to do that and make money at it. But the bank foreclosures, when you buy those, you work with the realtor. They have a minimum price that the bank is asking now. And usually you're going to sign a contract. You're going to maybe put $1,000 down earnest money. You're going to provide proof of funds showing you have the funds to close. And then you'll hear back within usually 1 to 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
and if you'll get a good deal. You just have to be prepared. And most of those properties are as is, where is. You do your own due diligence.
Yeah, and patience is a big thing because there's a lot of times the bank or whoever the lender is, they take their time. They don't get in a hurry about giving you an answer. So it could take up to 4 weeks. I've seen them take up to 6 weeks to get an answer. So you really have to be patient. If you think you're buying a foreclosed property that you need real bad, you need to move in it real quick, it's probably not a good idea to do that because normally you will wait. But there's some that you will get an answer in a week, but I've seen it take quite a bit longer. So these patience, got to have patience.
Got to have patience.
Yep.
So, well, interesting.
We are looking to buy a couple more rehabs this month. Actually, we have our goal at 2 more, so we are hoping that we're going to get some additional calls this week and next on people that have a distressed property that would like a quick sale. So we're hoping for that. And of course, they can call us at our number for that.
And see, and unless you're in the business like you are, and if you have a distressed property for whatever reason, let's say, you inherited from, maybe a family member passed away, like you said, and then you get this piece of property. There's one in the neighborhood in Springfield where I'm at, and it might be better off to call you and let you just give them a price as is, and instead of them trying to figure out how to fix it up, and because you can spend your money in the wrong places on those type of homes.
You're exactly right.
And then you could end up not getting your money back. So instead of putting yourself through all that and trying to fix it up and trying to figure out what someone might like or might not like and dealing with all that, it might be easier and a quicker solution to call an investor like you that is looking to buy those properties, that is experienced and knows exactly how to manage them, how to bring them back. And to me, that would be a great solution for someone.
You're right. And many people just don't have the funds or the know-how to do that.
Sure.
And they don't know what to do with the property. And one of the nice things about our company and my job, and I would feel that this would be the same way for other investors and realtors, is when you go into an area and there is a property that's really in distress, it's hurting the neighborhood, it's an eyesore, and then we go in there and, so to speak, recycle that property and make a beautiful home. And now a new family moves in there that maybe couldn't have bought a home before, that we help on our path to home ownership. And the neighborhood benefits because it pushes up property values.
Certainly.
The families benefit because they are now on the path to own a home. And then in the near future, a local lender is benefiting because now they have somebody that is able to go ahead and do business with them with their traditional financing. So everybody wins in that situation.
When lenders look at property like that and they're going to finance someone that is needing a home, did the neighborhoods matter to lenders, to banks and stuff? Did they look at the neighborhood and say this is a rundown neighborhood regardless of the people's credit and all that? I've always wondered how much a neighborhood affects the financial side of getting some property. Does it have an effect, or is it just on the person's finances alone?
I mean, normally, and 9 times out of 10, a lender's going to want an appraisal. And that appraisals, they're going to show other properties around. And if you're in an area that is real distressed, been a lot of foreclosures, this, that, and the other, and if you may know more about this than me, but from what I understand, foreclosures is not supposed to affect an appraisal, but they do.
Yes, they do.
And so yeah, it's going to make a difference.
But it's mainly going to be just exactly what you said. It's going to be based on what that appraiser is going to, value that home at.
Yeah.
Because the banks they have a list of their own appraisals, or appraisers, excuse me, and they're going to go off of that appraisal to base on, here's the value that we can loan this percent for that home.
Okay, so the neighborhood in the area does have an effect somewhat on the financial part of that.
Sure does.
Okay.
I feel prices are going up, though, and if you look in the news and Wall Street journals and things like that, we're seeing a trend in rents are going up, property values are going up. There's several boom cities now that were in a depressed state. Las Vegas is actually starting to go up again.
Really?
Many places in Arizona. There's in Florida, it was hurt so bad, and they're starting to creep up too, and a lot of those good deals are being bought up, and so prices are starting to go back up, which is good for everybody.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. We have a caller holding on. Let's talk to Ruth here in Springfield. Go ahead, Ruth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Ruth.
You're on an interesting subject that everybody should be interested in if they're interested in owning a home today.
Yes.
I have a question. It's sort of an overall question. I noticed that a lot of the houses are being sold off by repos from banks. And I've often wondered, some banks seems to have more repos than others. What contributes to a bank having a property that the owner can't make the payments? Is it that the bank made a bad the lender made a bad mistake when he sold the property to the owners? They couldn't afford it. Is it that he made a mistake in his value of the property and it really wasn't worth that much? What leads to banks having foreclosures other than the homeowner not being able to make the payments?
Ruth, that's a good question. I believe when the crash actually happened back in 2008, and I wouldn't call it a crash, but when the housing market really took a dive, there was a lot of very, very, very loose, to say to be an exception, very loose lending practices. They were pushing loans and they weren't verifying incomes, and they were doing a lot of practices back then that really hurt the entire economy. And I believe a lot of those have really cleared themselves up now. And when the financial institution, through the government's new regulations, that they're a lot more careful when they lend money to people today and in the last 3 or 4 years even. So I don't believe the banks have contributed to what's been happening today. I believe that the economy, taking so long to start, and then things that Mary was saying earlier, somebody has an illness, someone has a divorce, their job gets downsized, and so that good loan that the bank was very right in loaning, there was nothing wrong with that, but today's society, there's so many challenges that some families, they don't live like maybe they did 40 years ago or 50 years ago, where they saved so much and they had a big reserve. Many families don't have a big reserve, and so when something happens in their life, they find themselves in a situation we can't make our payments, and then the bank has to make an evaluation. How long can we let this go?
How much do you blame the government for causing that fall of property? I almost 100% blame the government's pushing people into houses that they deserve a house, and they weren't even qualified to make their rent payments where they were living. I know of some cases where they were given money to move in.
Yeah, you're right. There was some very bad business practices that many government officials approved and created, but there's a lot of people that made mistakes, and it's not one person or one agency, but basic business practices. You either do the right things and you put somebody in there that makes sense, or you try to do what you just said, and then you find that you've got a big problem.
Well, it's almost like you're a gambling establishment there when you were buying properties, and no down payment, getting money from them to take care of the problems of it. It's sort of, people get caught up in that, and they think that here's a chance to get rich,
Yeah. Well, I think it's on its way to recovery now, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruth.
for calling.
Thanks for calling, Ruth. We're going to have to take a quick break here. I heard the music playing, so this is Home Repairs and Solutions. Please come back. We have more great information.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew, Well, your faucets, they all drip, and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. A man from Springfield has entered a guilty plea and will spend the next 13 years in prison for a killing last year near the MSU campus. Joshua Brown admitted that he shot and killed Javon Carter outside a home on South Maryland. Ozarks Food Harvest has received a $125,000 grant from the Walmart Foundation. The money will be used by the Regional Food Bank and its 250 food banks and feeding stations around the region. Last year in Missouri, the foundation awarded more than $31 million to local organizations. And what started as a meth bust has resulted in recovery of thousands of dollars in items stolen in at least 4 counties. Jody Hull of Sparta and Jared Day of Ava allegedly stole the items in Taney, Douglas, Christian, and Webster counties. Both suspects are 31 years old. They're also charged with some cattle thefts. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
And join us for America's First News, Monday through Saturday at 6:05 a.m. on the Wall Street Journal This Morning on AM 560 KWTO.
A flash flood watch remains in effect through tomorrow afternoon. We'll have periods of rain and thunderstorms today, otherwise mostly cloudy and humid, high 84. Tonight and tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid with more showers and thunderstorms, low tonight 69, high tomorrow 84. Partial sunshine for Sunday with a leftover shower or thunderstorm around, still humid, high 88. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
SCS Home Entertainment has been creating home entertainment environments for over 30 years with uncompromised excellence in home electronics, audio, and video. SCS is taking home entertainment to a whole new level. We now offer the industry's finest quality entertainment furniture and decor. SCS offers distinctive styles to match your personal taste, no matter what room you're shopping for. Come by and visit our newly remodeled state-of-the-art showroom and get your favorite room ready for easy and comfortable entertainment.
Everyone to West High School Spring Fling. Hey, where we at, stand?
All right, I've gone through all the tracks. Just move through the beats. Do your thing.
All right, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, a.k.a. DJ Hook.
Scratching at my first school dance takes confidence. So we're getting into college. I've got what it takes. Okay, I went through the practice sessions. I slept good. I feel good.
We will now begin the test. Please take out your pencils.
I got this.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Now if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
And welcome back to Home Repairs and Solutions. If you want to be part of the show, call 862-9977 or outside the area 1-800-375-0056. Now here's Mary and Mark.
Or you can send us a text.
That's right.
417-838-3192.
Yes, that is correct.
Yep.
And Mark will get that text and we'll read your question and give you an answer.
That's right.
So we'd love to hear you talk to us. We'd love for you to call in, but if you don't want to, send us a text.
You know, some people are just shy.
Like us.
Like us. Yeah, they don't want to talk, you know. Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had that problem.
No.
Well, I think when we start the second half, I think the first thing we're going to do is let Michael give out his contact
Good
information.
idea. That's
So if someone out there wants to call him after the show, if you don't want to call him during the show, then you will know how to do that. So how did they get a hold of you, Michael?
Yeah, to reach us, if you're wanting to look at a property with our owner finance path to homeownership program, you can call us at 417-597-3140. That's 417-597-3140. And if you have a home that you're looking to sell and you would like to get a fast offer on that home, you can call us at 417-619-6095. That's 417-619-6095.
Now, I know the first question I'm going to get asked, because I know my mom's listening. I just know it. Hi, Mom. They live up in Harrisonville, Missouri. Do you go that far, or do you know anybody or any ideas for the folks that live on the outer part of our listening area? Because our signal goes quite a ways.
It does.
I have purchased a home as far as Garden City, which is very close to Harrisonville. But normally we're looking at about a 60-mile radius, Joplin, Missouri, Branson, Bolivar, a little bit north of Bolivar, Marshfield, a little bit east of Marshfield. So that's our main area.
Right.
However, if somebody's outside that area, they're still welcome to call. You never know. There might be something that we can help them with, and if not, it's not any cost for us to give them some advice.
Sure. Yeah. So, Mom, I got Michael's number. I'll give it to you. She can call you.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
See how fast we can make connections for you on this show?
That's right. Just bam, like that. We got it. So, but, it is such a great idea and a neat thing that you're doing because, me being a realtor, sometimes we say, well, you're kind of getting in on our territory. But, most of the time, these are people that can't afford to maybe use a realtor to, sell. They need help quick.
Sure.
And I think
I have many people call me and describe what their situation is. And time again, I said, really your first step is call your local realtor because from what you're telling me, I think the best avenue for you is to go ahead and list this, get a comp, find out really where you're at. Many people just don't know where they're at. Some are pleasantly surprised that they're better off than they realized.
Exactly.
And some find that they're not as good off as they hope to be.
Sure.
But until you really make that call and get a professional that's going to give you a comparative market analysis and maybe give you some pointers on here's what helps to get your home sold quickly. Sometimes it's just a little bit of things that you as a homeowner just don't realize.
Sure.
And then I've had people call me too that were thinking about listing, but my husband, one of the stories would be, and this is an actual story, he had already left. He'd got a job in Texas. It was a very good job. I mean, their family had no choice. This was a great opportunity. He was there. They had tried on their own a couple of months to sell. They kind of owed just about what the full market was, and they wanted a quick solution, and I provided that, and then the rest of the family could go move down there, and they've been down there 6 months or a year. They send me emails and thanking me and things like that.
Sure.
So everybody's situation is different.
That's right. That's right. That's great. We do have a caller holding on. Sharon in Stone County. Go ahead, Sharon.
Hi. I just tuned into the program, and if I could have this gentleman's name and telephone number again. I have a friend who has a home, and it's completely paid for, but she's older, and she needs to get into Springfield. Her home is in Aurora.
Okay.
And she has had the home listed. She's had realtors involved, but her health is such that she needs some immediate action.
Sure. Well, she can reach me, or you can reach me when we're not on the show at 597-3140. That's area code 417. 597-3140. I'd be glad to talk with her and see if there's some solution that I can help her with. Aurora is a little bit of a tougher market right now to sell. It just is, but that doesn't mean there's not a solution for her. And this is not an uncommon situation. I have many people call me with this very thing. So I definitely encourage her to give me a call.
All right, sir. And could I have your name, please?
Yeah, Michael Summers, MPJ Enterprises.
Michael Summers, MPJ.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, you too. And then she can also go on the web and look at our website at sellyourhometoday.net. That's SELLYOURHOME, the number 2, DAY.net. Sellyourhometoday.net.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you for your call.
Now, does that website also show homes that you have available for people to buy, or is that a different website?
No, that's a website. If you're wanting to sell your home, then go to that website, sellyourhometoday.net. If you're looking to buy a home through a owner finance or lease option or agreement for deed kind of program where your credit really is not an issue, and you want a solution for that, and you can afford a reasonable down payment and monthly payments, you have employment or some type of income, then you can go to our website that is ownahometoday.net, which is OWNAHOME, the number 2, DAY.net, ownahometoday.net. And we have anywhere between 8 and 25 properties at any one time. And I always tell people, if you go there today and you really don't see what you're looking for, just keep watching weekly, because we'll have some months we'll add 5 or 6 houses, and then we may go a month or so and we don't add any. It just depends on what the market will bear as we're buying the homes. We're in the process right now of 3 homes we just bought. 2 of them are under rehab. One of them just needed a little bit of new paint. So those will be hitting our website here within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, fairly quickly.
Yeah, it really will. And so just watch.
I would think that for most people, sometimes they think that there's no possibility that they can own a home. But I would say that there is an opportunity out there for most people. If you have a job and you have some income, to own a home. It might not be your dream home today, but it might be the home that can get you started to your dream home.
Exactly.
So sometimes not everyone wants to start at the beginning. Sometimes that's kind of tough to do, but really it would be better for you to start at the beginning, get a home that you can afford, start your home ownership, and then progress from that point instead of spending your money
You're exactly right,
with rent.
You're exactly right.
You're making someone else's dream come true if you're paying someone rent for years and years and years. And it's always kind of interesting to me. My sister and my brother-in-law have rental property, and they had people that would rent for 20 years. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness.
They love those people.
Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do, because they were great renters. They paid their rent. They didn't tear anything up. They lived in it like it was their own home. But when you come to the end, it's not your home. And you figure up how much you spent in 20 years. You didn't get any of the equity appreciation. You didn't, So find what you can afford. Let Michael help you. If you're looking to buy a home, or if you're frustrated because you don't think there's a home available for you, call Michael. Let him help you and start at the beginning where you can afford to start and start home ownership.
We run into this so many times, and I'm very fortunate to work for Dan Clark over at RE/MAX, because Dan's been in the business 35 years or so, and he has the backing where a lot of times somebody will come to us and they want to buy a house, but they have issues. Well, we can't do it all the time, but a lot of the times we can say, okay, we'll do this on a contract for deed. We'll help you out until you can get built back up where you can go ahead and get your loan, to go ahead and buy the house from us. But we can't do that all the time.
Right.
And that's where people like Michael are a huge help to us, because we never want to turn somebody down that really wants to own a home.
Sure.
And I know it can be really frustrating, especially if you're young people, you're trying to get started. It's sometimes, hard to go through everything to get that loan, and they get frustrated and just don't know what to do. And like I say, we can't help them all the time, even though we would love to and try, but we can send them to Michael.
That's right.
And
makes it exciting when you do.
Yeah.
And they walk in, they know that's their home now. And
exactly.
we didn't think we could own one, and we thank you so much. And that's one of the most rewarding things about the business that we're in. And there is a lot of people out there to help you today find out where you're at and what to do. Many of the people, like I said, when we put them in the homes, we give them the tools that they need. And for instance, if they want to find out, okay, what do I need to do to get my credit where I need it to be to get qualified.
Right.
We've got several people that we use that work at local banks here, and the way you know it's not a scam or anything is there's no charge. You know, if there's somebody wants you to send a bunch of money so they're going to do credit repair, beware.
Beware.
But
exactly.
And I know she won't mind me giving out her number, but we work closely with Christina over at Guarantee Bank, and her number is 830-0032. That's 830-0032. She'll sit down with folks. She'll pull their credit. She'll show them exactly what they've got, and she may say something like, "Well, folks, this isn't really hurting you. Let's leave that alone," or "We need to address this."
Yeah.
And she may tell you something about, "Well, we need to open you a secured credit card that will start reporting, and you need 12 or 24 months of seasoning showing this reporting." But they know what to do. And you really need to work with those professionals, because if they're at the bank, they know what the bank's going to require.
That's right.
To give you that loan. And so they're giving you all the information you need. And you don't have to worry, well, what do I do? Well, you just follow their steps.
That's right.
So you're almost guaranteed.
Yeah. And we work a lot with Guarantee Bank also. And
Good bank.
and so they are
It is. I
excellent
bank
to try to-
there. They're amazing people. Yeah,
Yeah.
they really are.
And so, as a matter of fact, Dana Elwell from Guarantee Bank's been on the program before
Yes.
with us.
They won't mind the plug, will they?
No, not at all. No, they're good people over there.
Yes, they are.
But that's great to know that, and like you say, people know that it's not a fraud or anything.
That's right.
When they can use somebody like that, that's
And there's no charge.
huge.
They're there
Yeah.
to help you, because
Yeah.
they want to grow you as their customer.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and people have things happen, and we really understand that.
Yeah.
And we work with them. I always tell people too, when you're in the house, if something happens while you're in there, just communicate with us. And
Yeah.
I think whoever's out there, if they are having issues and they're on some type of program, or even with the bank, just communicate, work out something. There's a lot of flexibility today that used to not be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, the first house that Paul and I had, trust me, it was not our dream home. It was 8 foot wide and 24 foot long or something like that.
Travel trailer?
It wasn't even a travel trailer. It was sitting there, and you couldn't have moved it no matter what. The tires would rot off it and everything else. So, but that was a starting point for us.
Sure.
You know, and we were just happy that we weren't paying rent and that we had something that was ours. Now, was it the most ideal? No. Was it my dream home? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But it gave us a place to start and work from, so that we could work toward where we wanted to be. And that didn't happen quickly for us. It happens quicker for some people. You know, for us, our dream home was a home at the lake. It took us 30 years to find our dream home.
Sure.
You know, now we did have nice homes in between.
Yeah.
But our ultimate goal was to have a home at the lake. And it took 30 years to find that. And then we rehabbed it when we found it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not necessarily a quick process, but it can be an easier process than some people realize.
It can be. I'm glad you brought that up too, because something that we do at our company that I don't know that anybody else does with an owner finance program is when we have folks buy from us, and this has happened several times, they asked us, well, if we live here so many years and we're doing what we're supposed to do, if we find another property either through you or otherwise, could we keep this house and rent it out and have it be an investment property for us for our retirement and our future? And we do that. We've got several people right now that the home they initially bought from us is now an investment home that they're receiving income on, and someone else is paying off their home for their future. And so we offer something that a lot of people don't.
Sure.
And there again, it's just tied to somebody doing what they're supposed to do, making the payments, taking care of the property, and we're there to help them along the way. Everybody wins.
Well, and something else about credit reports, and I've just heard that most people, 25% of the information on your credit report is wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, and it's such an important tool that is used for lots of things. So, unless you have someone helping you investigate your report and see what's on there and see what's going on, maybe your score has to do with some errors on your report, not necessarily that you've done something wrong or something's happened to you, but maybe there's things that have been reported that are not yours.
Yeah.
And so going to a professional to help you get all that sorted out can make a huge difference in your interest rate, what you can borrow, what you can do. You know, there's so much emphasis put on those, but they do have a lot of mistakes on them. So, you know, just because someone says this is your score doesn't necessarily mean that's your score. Maybe there's errors and omissions or whatever that can be corrected by
Right.
working through someone who knows how to manipulate all that stuff and straighten it out.
Reporting. Yep, get it corrected and get accurate reporting.
Yeah. Very important.
So maybe your first home, maybe it's not your dream home, but maybe, like Michael said, it will help you achieve that. If you can start with a home and move on and then make it into a rental property with Michael's help, you know, there's lots of options. I hadn't even, you know, that's not something that I would have thought of doing.
I don't think anybody else that does.
Because
phone
when I get
financing
rid
does
of that home, if it wasn't my dream home, I just want out of there and I went to the next thing. You know, I wasn't thinking about hanging on to all those properties.
Yeah.
So, you know, if that's something you're interested in doing,
Well,
get some
and
help
some
with
people
that.
say, "Oh, we wouldn't even know where to start." And then we offer a management service that we can manage that property for them, so they don't have to deal with collecting, you know, payments and things like that. It's
See,
a win-win.
that's my kind of management.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm moving on. You take care of all the problems and issues. Just send me the money.
Well, unless you're in the business of that, I would strongly not recommend
Right,
anybody trying
sure.
to manage their own property.
Yeah.
If it's a one-time deal, they'll go to some seminars that are not very fun with the tenants. So
Yes, I'm sure that's true. And you know, sometimes once in a while they have these seminars blow through town, and there was one here just not too long I heard about the other day, you know, how to get into rental property or investment property here in this area and that type of thing. And I think maybe it was a free seminar, I don't know. But let me tell you, folks, those are not free. When you go to those, at the end, there's a price to pay. And then a lot of these people are from out of town. You know, you might have a phone number or something, but you know, if that's something that you want to do, if you want to learn that business, if you want someone to mentor you, call Michael. He lives here. He is here. He's not in California that blew through here and did a 2-hour seminar and took, you know, $10,000 of your money and left town.
That's right.
He's right here. He can walk you through it. He can go with you to the properties. He will be someone that you can depend on. I think Michael does a great service to folks, and I would just highly recommend.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, if you're in any of the situations we've talked about today, I promise you, Michael will be able to give you some good directions and some help.
Yep.
So
I do offer that.
Please give him a call.
Yeah.
Had several
And
people here
speaking of that, give your numbers out one more time before we run out of time.
Yes, you can reach us at 417-597-3140, and you can for buying a home. And if you're trying to sell your house, you can reach us at 417-619-6095. Either of those numbers will work also if you're looking to find out some more information about doing this business and some mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
I have several students that have signed up with me here in the local area and have done very well. So, and it's some people, this is definitely a business that suits them. They enjoy the freedom. They enjoy that they can do this part-time. They don't have to do it full-time. And you can make a nice income. And I always teach people, just do the right thing. You know, do right by anybody that you buy with, and definitely do right by who you sell with, and you'll never have to look back.
But I would suggest that people who are going to try to do this, if this is something you've been interested in, if you try and go learn it, learn as you go, I do not recommend that. You will have so many frustrations, and you will probably end up losing so much money. Get a mentor.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Get someone to help you with this, because, you know, it could be the difference of making a profit and losing your shirt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It happens all the time. The price you pay in the street is a lot more expensive than the price you pay from somebody that's done it for years and years and years.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We're about to run out of time.
We
Thank
are.
you so much for
Thank
being
you
with
for having
us,
me. I
Michael.
enjoyed it.
What you got going on this weekend? You playing music anywhere?
No, going on vacation this weekend. Going to old Silver Dollar City tomorrow. Dixie Stampede Sunday.
How fun.
Tuesday,
You're outta
Gene
here.
and I are heading out, taking a little motorcycle trip.
Well, I wish you all the best with your trip, and I hope you don't get rained out.
I hope not. So it's going to be a fun time. What are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to go down and check on my lake house.
Well, hopefully they'll get all your work done.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
There you go. So, well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We are heard every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO.
I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, you need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions.